Sifter for the ear.
News, interviews, reviews, cinema, TV, streaming. Action!
Hi, y'all. This is Jerry Williams, a.k.a. TV Jerry.
With winter approaching, this black bear wastes no time, eating everything he can while the good times last. Even if this means going to great heights. Like his peers, he's an expert climber, stripping entire vines of wild grapes, which turns out is just what the vines need. Eagerly filling his belly, he swallows the fruit whole, seeds and all.
That was an excerpt from the new documentary Shenandoah, and that was narrator Daphne Maxwell-Reid, who's also been on the show. Today's show features Elizabeth Crowl, the co-director of the documentary. It was originally produced in a shorter version for the Visitor Center at Shenandoah National Parks, but has now been expanded to a 1-hour version, which will be shown on the big screen at the Byrd Theatre as part of Seen in Virginia on September 14th. Elizabeth talks about the untimely loss of her co-director and the many challenges of shooting a nature documentary.
Sifter Review of the Week.
Cape Fear on Apple TV. Martin Scorsese directed Robert De Niro in the 1991 remake, and he's back as executive producer on this series. Javier Bardem takes on the villain role this time, and he's the epitome of creepy charisma. He plays an ex-con seeking revenge on his lawyer, Amy Adams, by subtly terrorizing her and her family. The show has borrowed elements from the earlier versions, including in-your-face camera, overbearing music, and intense foreboding, which is the dominant emotion in the film. Bardem never lets up, but the series loses the tension while trying to fill the time. The performances are all fine, but showrunner Nick Antosca spends too much effort creating an ominous atmosphere that gets tiresome. Ultimately, the final 2 episodes ramp up the thrills even though they push credibility. It's a long slog to the ultimate climax and lacks enough events to keep it compelling along the way. I gave Cape Fear 2.5 out of 5 stars. Elizabeth Crowl, welcome to Sifter for the Ear.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
First of all, I have to ask, the production company is Orange Frame. Where did that name come from?
I didn't found the company, but my late boss, Jeff Boddicker, he founded the company. And he, for a long time, would have his brother, Chris, every year he would send like a framed, thrifted piece of art that was kind of bad art. He would spray paint the frame orange. And so it became sort of a joke. And Jeff started collecting a lot of other thrifted artwork. And he created what he called like a bad art gallery.
Wow, where is it now?
I think the collection of art is probably with his family. But in the office, like a few years ago, we would have like just a huge gallery wall with all of these framed.
You know, that's interesting because when my Dirt Woman documentary played in San Francisco a couple years ago, right around the corner the night we were there, they had a bad art opening. And it was hilarious because it was the same kind of thing. That really is fun to see some of the amazing stuff that people pass off as art like that.
Yeah, I think so too. And he always wanted to change the name. He didn't really like it, but I really love it. And I think the story, it's just like such a fun story to tell, you know?
And you mentioned that Jeff recently passed, and I noticed you co-directed, and the movie Shenandoah was dedicated to him. Is there a story you want to share about that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Jeff, he's the heart and soul of Orange Frame, was the heart and soul of this film. Like, I joined Orange Frame in January of 2020, so like...
Oh, a perfect time, right before COVID started,
yes,
too.
Exactly.
That's right, when I retired, so I lucked out on the other side of that.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Yeah. What a crazy time. I feel like BC has like a whole new meaning to it.
You're right. That's a good point. Yeah.
But Jeff he was the driving force of Orange Frame and of this project. He kind of came up with the original vision, like the 3-part structure that we have. He just loved Shenandoah, and he passed away in October of 2023, very unexpectedly. And after he passed away, we kept going. We just finished the short film, and we had already been in talks with VPM, but it was kind of put on hold for a while. And then we came back to VPM, and thankfully we were able to do the 1-hour film, and very fulfilling now to be able to see it out in the world and people can actually watch it.
surprise guest drop-in.
Now, you mentioned the Shenandoah National Park and the Shenandoah National Park Trust. Somebody dropped in to say hello to you, actually.
Oh,
Hi.
Footnote.
Jessica Catchalone is the executive director of the Shenandoah National Park Trust.
it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for making the film possible.
Oh, you're welcome. We were excited to be part of it. Such a special film.
From your end, Jessica, how did that come about?
Actually, VPN called and reached out to us and said, we are in the final push to try to get the film done and we need some support. And we said, okay, we're in.
So tell me again what the Shenandoah National Park Trust is, Jessica.
We are actually the philanthropic partner to Shenandoah National Park. We fundraise money from the community, the philanthropic community, to invest in a wide variety of projects and programs in the park, such as the education programs. We fund about 95% of that program, and they serve about 10,000 kids.
Wow, great.
Yeah, it's pretty impactful. We fund trail maintenance. We do a lot of forest health, so keeping the forest healthy and beautiful. So we touch all areas of the park.
Right.
We give about, I think this year we'll give them about $1.5 million in projects.
Wow, great. And you mentioned students, and I noticed one thing that's interesting and unique about this documentary. There have been a number of documentaries on Shenandoah and the displacement and the history of the park itself. This is almost all about the nature. Is that something that you think is a welcome difference? And is that going to be shown in the schools?
I don't know if it's going to be shown in the schools. I know we are doing a public showing here in Charlottesville on October 15th, but I do know 30 minutes of that film is being shown in the Visitor Center. So this film was originally kind of made for the Shenandoah National Park. So
Right.
young people who come into the park will definitely see it. I'm thrilled that it's about the nature. It's not that the displacement story isn't important, the human, but in this day and age of really like understanding the beauty and the importance of Shenandoah, and more importantly, like it's in our backyard. I mean, it's not from across the state of Virginia. I mean, even from the beach, it's like 3 hours away, maybe. So people don't even realize this amazing resource and asset is in their backyard, in their own community.
And of course, I've told both of you, I believe, that's my daughter's name, Shenandoah. She was conceived in Charlottesville, and we were hippies, so we gave her the name Shenandoah. So it's kind of a neat little twist that we're doing a documentary on, not on her, but on the park.
That's awesome. Thanks to everybody for making this film happen. And I know it was many years of blood, sweat, and tears for so many people. And we are just super honored to be part of this film.
Great. And I'll post that link on the website, too.
Okay, cool.
So nice to meet you. I hope I see you again.
I hope so too.
Thanks so much, Jessica.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. It's interesting because, as I mentioned to Jessica, this is a nature documentary. There's a nod to the historical aspect of Shenandoah Park being created, but it's a nature doc. And you mentioned that Jeff shot a lot of that. It's incredible how much footage. Was all of that footage y'all shot, or was any of it stock that you used as well?
It's a mixture. So we shot a good portion of it, and then we also worked very closely with Shenandoah National Park. They have a whole media team, Neil Lewis and Brett Rayburn, and they are awesome cinematographers as well. And so we collaborated with them, and it was great because they were already in the park. So, if there happened to be some like a bear nearby or whatever, they could go out and get some footage. And then for some of the scenes, like we did get some stock, like the peregrine falcon diving. Hardly anyone has been able to catch that on camera just because they move so fast.
Just to sit and wait for a bear to do stuff, or the salamanders or the
my
butterflies,
goodness.
those things must have taken hours and hours of just patience.
Yes, yeah. It definitely did. It was a different situation for everything. So like for the salamanders, that was awesome because we got to follow a USGS biologist up into the areas where they are most common. But then with the bear, oh my gosh, that was hard because the year that we went up to film, there were hardly any bear sightings because there was a bad case of mange going around the park.
Oh, wow.
Every time there was a bear sighting, Jeff and Nick, our director of photography, would go up and like in a hide and just try and wait it out all day to see if the bear would show up, and no bear. And after many times of going up and coming back and not being successful, we were like, oh my God, what are we to do?
Really?
This
Wow.
film needs a bear. And thankfully, Brett from the Shenandoah Media Department, he was driving down Skyline Drive, which is the main road that goes throughout Shenandoah National Park.
Right.
And he was driving, and all of a sudden, he sees a bear on the side of the road and he goes like, "Arr!" and and he pulls over, gets his camera from the back, and he got all of that gorgeous footage for us of the bear climbing the tree. But yeah, it was like a different situation for everything. We also filmed eels.
That was underwater.
Yeah, and Jeff, he's a scuba diver, so he
Oh, that's convenient.
scuba dived in the river, just like waiting for them to appear.
And I'm imagining maybe the blind hiker, Mary Wilson, that was something that y'all put together as opposed to the park people?
Yes. So I was searching just going down like a rabbit hole. There was this one vlog, and it was an interview with Mary Wilson. And we reached out and asked her if she was interested, and she was super interested. She jumped on it, and we were able to film with her, which was great.
As a director on a nature documentary, when obviously the DP is out there shooting all of the footage, what is the director doing while they're sitting there? They're saying, oh, look over there? Or are they even shouldn't say on set, on location with the DP? Or does the DP just go out and get a bunch of footage and the director just kind of tells them what to do? I know how the director works normally because I'm a director, but on a nature documentary, what is a director doing?
The way that we went about it was we wrote a long script, and because it's a nature film, it's all mostly voiceover. So we kind of wrote the voiceover for it and wrote a general outline of what we were thinking, the animals that we wanted to, and the species we wanted to cover and wanted to film, sort of the emotional beats that we wanted to get, and the sort of basically the through line throughout all of the stories that we wanted to feature. So we kind of had that ready to go. And then we planned our shooting based on that. And then we would talk to the DP about, the lenses. And it was really Nick and Jeff that were collaborating at the beginning. We'd go out and we'd film. And obviously things don't go according to plan when you go out. So.
Yeah, when you're waiting for the bear to do what you want it to do, or the butterflies or whatever. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. There are a lot of people on the show. Rex Tease has been on the show. Daphne Reed has been on the show. Everybody from VPN's been on the show a bunch.
I love Rex and Danny.
Yeah, Rex, editors for a documentary, that's a big job, especially with those gigabytes of footage, too.
Yes. Huge job. And I have a lot of respect for him. And as someone who is I'm a sort of a new director, he was just amazing guide for, how to properly store things and edit things, the proper processes of doing things. He was a really helpful collaborator in that sense.
Good.
Footnote.
I'll include a link to my interview with editor Rex Tease on the webpage for this show at TV Jerry. So what's your background? How did you get into this business?
I studied art history and film.
And where was this?
At NYU.
Oh, NYU, okay.
After graduating, I graduated and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. and so my family had just moved to Richmond. And so, I said, well, I'll just move here for the summer or whatever. And then I ended up staying and I signed up for the VPA listserv.
Footnote.
The Virginia Production Alliance is an organization of professionals in the industry, and their listserv sends messages of interest to the members.
But it's mostly casting calls. So every time I would get an email, I would kind of ignore it and then one day, on a Saturday afternoon, I was feeling rather industrious. And so I checked my emails and there was a job description for a production coordinator at this company, Orange Frame Productions, documentary company. And I applied for it. Yeah, and then that's how it all began.
You mentioned the 30-minute version and the 60-minute. So the 30, was that the one, as Jessica mentioned, for the park visitor center? Yeah, and then y'all decided to expand it from there?
Exactly, yeah. So it was first a 24-minute version for the park's visitor center. And then it evolved into a 1-hour version or 56-minute version for VPM.
Which must make it better for y'all because you had so much footage and so many stories to tell, and you just couldn't squeeze it all into 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It was so nice. And it was so nice, I think, to let it breathe. And
well, now let me ask you that. Speaking of the breathing, is the 30-minute version basically cover all the same animals and stuff? So what's additional for the hour version that you couldn't put into the 30?
So all of the people that we have in the new version weren't in the 24-minute version. So we didn't include the biological technician, Dale. We didn't include Mary Wilson, who's the blind hiker. And we did not include the Descendant original film.
Okay.
There were animals that we added. So we added the swallowtail butterflies. We added the fungi sequence and hemlock tree sequence. We expanded sections, like we expanded the water sequence. A nature documentary kind of needs space to breathe. And I mean, the footage is just so beautiful. And Shenandoah is so beautiful. We kind of just wanted to give the audience to be in that world. And so
appreciate it. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, that took up more time too.
What's next for Orange Frame?
Oh, that's a great question. We have a lot of irons in the fire at the moment. So nothing I feel I can talk about yet, but hopefully soon.
But they'll mostly be documentaries because that's the primary focus, right?
So we'll do broadcast documentaries and long-form documentaries for the National Park Service. So we've done some for other national parks as well. And then we'll also do documentaries for museums. So we'll do museum theater films. We'll do videos, like short-form videos for like museum kiosks. We've done like immersive museum experiences as well. So
cool. Okay. So now one question I always like to ask everybody. When you're not working on your documentaries, what have you been watching lately? What have you seen at home on streaming or maybe in a theater?
Ooh, that's a great question. I finally watched the documentary Daughters. Have you seen that?
I've done a podcast on it and I have seen it.
Footnote.
Daughters was released last year, and it documents a program that allows black girls to attend a dance with their fathers who were incarcerated. I'll include a link to my podcast with the directors and the film itself on Netflix on the webpage for this show at TV Jerry.
I'll have to go back and listen to your podcast on that because it had been on my list for a long time. But yeah, I have only just seen it and I was blown away.
Well, Elizabeth, it's been great to meet you and to hear more about Shenandoah, and congratulations on the project.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me. And I will also say there will be another screening in Richmond on September 14th at the Byrd Theatre.
Yeah, I'll definitely have that link on the website too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Elizabeth Crowl, the co-director of the documentary Shenandoah, which will be shown on the big screen at the Byrd Theatre as part of Scene in Virginia on September 14th. Of course, I'll have a link to that screening and all the other stuff we discussed on the webpage for this show at TV Jerry.
Coming soon. In theaters.
Tony. Dominic Sessa plays 19-year-old Anthony Bourdain, who travels to Provincetown where he enters the chaotic world of a restaurant kitchen that will shape the course of his life. Insidious, Out of the Further. A young mother, raising her daughter in the house she grew up in, discovers she can travel into the Further, where she possesses an ability to bring what lives there back to the real world. The Magic Faraway Tree. A family relocates to the countryside where the children discover a magical tree with eccentric residents, with Andrew Garfield, Claire Foy, and the voice of Judi Dench as the Fridge. Spa Weekend. This getaway starts with 3 friends, but goes crazy when another uninvited friend shows up. Starring Leslie Mann, Ilsa Fisher, Michelle Buteau, and Anna Faris, and written and directed by the writers of The Hangover. Mutiny. The latest, featuring Jason Statham, has him taking the fall for the murder of his billionaire industrialist boss and uncovering the inevitable international conspiracy. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. A director making a slasher sequel becomes obsessed with casting the original film's final girl, starring Gillian Anderson and Hannah Einbender. And from Jane Schoenbrunn, director of I Saw the TV Glow and We're All Going to the World's Fair.
TV and streaming.
The Killer on Peacock. This is based on John Woo's 1989 Hong Kong classic, and he is back to direct. Nathalie Emmanuel stars as an assassin whose decision not to kill one of her marks puts a target on her back. Omar Sy, best known for Lupin, also stars. Incoming on Netflix, yet another raunchy high school comedy about 4 freshmen attending their first big party. This is the debut feature from the creators of The Mick, who are also writers for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. By the way, it features the star from that show, Caitlin Olsen. Stillwater on Apple. 3 siblings learn new perspectives on the world, themselves, and each other through their special next-door neighbor, a wise panda. Blood Sacrifice on Netflix. A Stockholm detective teams up with his estranged ex-cop father to catch a serial killer who's targeting police officers. Pachinko enters season 2 on Apple. Outer Banks on Netflix enters its 5th season. Next week, we're going to travel to Winchester to learn about the Genre Blast Film Festival. This is Jerry Williams. Thanks for listening.
For more Sister, including literally thousands of reviews,
Visit tvjerry.com.
That's a wrap.